Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to take a closer look at my favorite semiconductor company, Nvidia. There are a lot of updates with clouding giant Amazon and some pretty interesting news. One of my favorites that we're going to see is Amazon finally caved in. They were the last clouding service that from the top giants to offer DGX Cloud, but now DGX Cloud is available in AWS. And I do believe that's very, very big news. It kind of just shows the strength of Nvidia. But regardless, we're going to take a closer look at a lot of great news today. So let's get started. So let's start off with just overall price action. Right now, as I am recording, Nvidia is sitting at $481. Like always, year to date, the stock is dominating over 236%. So like I mentioned, a lot of great news coming out. AWS and Amazon just recently are hosting and are recently hosted a keynote for their AWS events where they showcase a lot of cool products. I'm actually going to do another video separate to this where we're going to take a closer look at some of the new solutions that AWS came out with. They kind of created new AI chips as well, new CPUs, and a lot of new software solutions for the AI market. So we're going to take a closer look at that in another episode, so make sure to stay tuned. But there were a lot of collaborations here with NVIDIA. So we can see on November 28th, AWS and NVIDIA announced strategic collaboration to offer new supercomputing infrastructure, software, and services for generative AI. And I do want to say, before I was talking of Amazon and AWS in prior videos, that Amazon to some extent has been a little bit lacking in the AI space to some extent compared to maybe Microsoft, maybe compared to Google. But then they come out with the event like they did recently, and in my opinion, it kind of changes things up, and it just reminds us why AWS is the top cloud player right now and why they can definitely win in this generative AI market.
I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and check out fool.com/Jose for the 10 best stocks to buy now. With that link, you get a promotional offer for the subscription service. Now, let's continue with today's episode.
So the first thing that kind of came in with this collaboration is AWS will be the first cloud provider to bring Grace Hopper 200 or GH200, which is the Grace Hopper super chips with new multi-node NVLink technology to the cloud. So they do mention that this kind of new technology allows to connect up to 32 Grace Hopper super chips with NVIDIA NVLink technologies. And the great thing about this is this platform will be available in Amazon's EC2 virtual machining, which is their powerful advanced virtualization products. Outside of that, what I think is pretty insane is they are working together to kind of create this Amazon EC2 Ultra cluster, which is going to enable joint customers to scale to thousands and thousands of Grace Hopper 200 super chips. And I think that's pretty great news. It kind of showcases, I want to say this is the first clouding company to kind of grab Amazon, NVIDIA's CPU, the Grace, not individually. We're seeing it here paired up with the Grace Hopper, with the Hopper GPU. But I don't think we've heard from any other players that are going to do the Grace Hopper 200. We've seen Microsoft take the H200, but I don't think we've heard many talked about the Grace Hopper 200. Outside of that, NVIDIA and AWS will collaborate to host NVIDIA's DGX Cloud, which is NVIDIA's AI training as a service on AWS. And like I mentioned earlier on, Amazon was the last player. We had Microsoft do it already. We had Google Cloud. We had Oracle Cloud already do this, where they are providing NVIDIA's DGX Cloud, which is kind of their infrastructure player. Amazon was the only person playing that. The only top player here in the cloud service provider market that did not have DGX Cloud. And I want to say, I'm going to guess that NVIDIA's market is too strong right now, that NVIDIA's like, sure, you don't want to host our DGX Cloud. Well, maybe we won't play nice when we're giving software solutions, when we're giving hardware solutions. And I believe for Amazon to kind of get a lot of these great deals right here, opposed to maybe some other cloud providers, they had to bring in this DGX Cloud. So DGX Cloud on AWS will accelerate training of cutting-edge generative AI and large language models that can reach billions beyond trillion of parameters. And before we go any further, guys, make sure to hit the thumbs up, the subscribe button. If you haven't and you want to learn more about the semiconductor market, I do have a weekly membership program. Click join to learn more. Finally, special offer at fool.com/Jose, and some other cool links in the pinned comments, so make sure to check that out. Now, there were some other interesting things, and NVIDIA and AWS are partnering up together to create a supercomputer. And this is not the first supercomputer we've seen from Nvidia, right? We've seen Nvidia do a partnership with Microsoft to create Egos, right? We've seen Egos has roughly 10,600 GPUs. They do mention that it's actually stronger than that, but I don't know to the public. It's known how many actual GPUs are available there. But here, NVIDIA and AWS are going to create a new supercomputer called Saba, which is kind of it goes coincide with Amazon. This is the name of one of the biggest and most important tree in the Amazon forest. So obviously, we can see that this is going to be one of the most important assets or supercomputer for Amazon. This is going to feature roughly 16,384 NVIDIA Grace Hopper 200 superchips and capable of processing 65 exaflops of AI. I think this is probably one of my biggest news. This is going to be a lot of sales for NVIDIA in their Grace Hopper superchip platform. And it is going to, in my opinion, also showcase the strength of NVIDIA's just Grace CPU. So I do believe in the upcoming quarters, we are going to hear more cloud server providers announce the Grace Hopper 200. And I do believe this is might be a little bit fearful if you are an AMD investor, if you are an Intel investor, because now we're seeing a new CPU player coming into the cloud server providers. Where originally there wasn't too much when I do believe when Grace Hopper was announced or when Grace was announced, I don't think too many people were thinking that hey, big cloud server providers were gonna adopt it, and if they did adopt it, it wasn't gonna be to this level. Outside of that, AWS will also bring new instances of their EC2 and P5E, which are their virtual machines. They're going to bring up NVIDIA's H200. We've heard from that Microsoft earlier this month or last month. The other thing we have heard is they're going to start offering the L40 GPUs and the L40S GPUs for virtual machines workstations. So that's pretty interesting, and we continue to see. I do believe just from this customer, NVIDIA is going to make millions and millions of dollars. So pretty impressive for this, and I'm super excited as an NVIDIA shareholder. Now, if we want to take a closer look, NVIDIA also did announce some other solutions that they are bringing a lot of their software products to AWS. One of those software products is going to be NVIDIA's BioNeMo, which enables generative AI for drug discovery on AWS, and obviously coming to DGX Cloud. So this is why I do believe that NVIDIA, I keep seeing Microsoft, NVIDIA kind of strong-handed and AWS and was like, hey, look, yeah, you can get some of our pretty cool software solutions for the AI market and for the generative AI market like BioNeMo and some of the other players that we have here in the generative AI space. But for you to do that, you're going to have to be able to use our NVIDIA's DGX Cloud on your platform. So again, I do believe this continues to showcase the strength of NVIDIA and its overall products. Now, there are some other recent news impacting NVIDIA at the moment, but I would want to cover that in another episode just because I really wanted to focus here on AWS. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.